TGIF, everyone. Hello, Kevin. Who are those three guys? And Didier and Brock and Kay. Welcome to our community, Kay Slape. All right, so, don't try and make your week on a Friday. Love you too, bro. Relax, Amira. Dax. Natural gas. All right, anyway. Something that, I never expected after the break in gold. Good morning, money. That we'd be back up here. I really thought this was going to be the breakdown to take us to new lows. Also, so I'm going to wait for another sale there. I know a lot of people are looking for big numbers to the upside because of what's going to happen or what's not going to happen in the U.S. election. And the dollar really could never get it going. It's trying to hold this. I had a conversation with Peter Goodburn yesterday and talked to him about some of his stuff. He's looking for maybe one more push down here. So I know that a lot of you guys have watched his interviews here on Face. He was also at our first Trader Summit. And then we get one more push. So I'll wait until I think the dollar is digging in to attempt shorts again in the gold. I really was just call it blind luck that I covered down here, near the close. And I thought I'd be selling rallies. Fortunately, I didn't do it. We're kind of cracking this, but I'll see what happens next week. Same with hello, Jeff Silver. We'll see what happens next week as well, because I'm still of the mind that this isn't the bottom. I could be all wet, but I still think that this is choppy corrective action in silver. Aussie Kiwi, I may recommit, went to the door. Hope you guys went to the door on at least partial position, as there could be an important test early next week of this breakout. And even if it's not a breakout, may attempt it down here. Still looks good and still is above the breakout. Yen's softening up for the first time, really hasn't made any progress. I think it needs to hold this level or something else is happening. But I still think yields are heading higher, so I don't want the short side of this. I still think we're going to 107, 108 in US dollar yen. If you're trading euro pound, it's probably making you a little crazy, this whippy, choppy stuff. And I'm still trying to be patient and think that I might have another chance up here. But, if the dollar's going to be weaker, long 34.45. You'll come do a show? Okay. All right, I'll hit you up on Skype and we'll line something up, Jess. Okay. And CAD, was playing with this test of the breakout, finally gave way. Maybe we're going to 130. I think Greg is pretty negative there. Weaker dollar, FX trader. Hello, Sa. And I think a lot of things are setting up. I mean, the dollar's running the show, right? So if we have a little more weakness in the dollar, then maybe we could get up to the 78.6 level in the S&Ps. And you could tell the S&Ps are still much stronger than NASDAQ. Look at this. We're just getting back to this level. So next week, I believe right around 11.8 is 61.8 back of the break. So I'm looking for shorts almost across the board when I think the dollar has ended this decline and might be headed right back up. and maybe as high as 95, 96. Hi, DJ. Any questions on anything I've covered? I still think that, 10-year yields still look higher. There might be a little 3 developing, but, this might just be the first wave. And next week, here's an interesting line in the VIX that comes in around 24. So we keep getting contained at 30. So let's see where the VIX is at should the S&Ps trade up towards 3,500. And maybe this is going to be it. If you notice, see these candles here? Someone's buying sharp breaks in VIX. See this? See this? And maybe we get one more of these. I think it has to hold 24 or there's something else happening. So we'll see if we get a 24 test next week, 25.90 last. And I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us and hope that we're adding value to what you're trying to accomplish as a trader. If we're helping you in face, the way to say thank you is to become a subscriber, at least take a trial. And let's just see, the pattern in plays have been going pretty good for the team. Greg has got a nice one going in Aussie. Okay. Greg, a nice one in US dollar yen. So moving it up to profit stop or break even stop now. Okay. Thank you, Brock. So, I think you can't get hurt trying this. And, if you're trading anyway, why not just transfer your account to Pepperstone? Doesn't cost you anything, or open a new one and then try us for free. I mean, there's nothing out of pocket. Maybe you'll even save money on the spreads from where you're trading right now. Okay, so, and you have to use our link for us to get credit that you're a new account. Okay. 1780. Yeah. I think the S&Ps have to go to 4,200 on that, DJ. All right, so that's about it. That's all I have today. Fridays are, there's no NFP. There's a lot of book squaring that goes on in front of, who knows what drama will unfold again this weekend. But this is when I start looking ahead towards next week. And I'm telling you, my 2 best by Thanksgiving will be there. Okay. My best trades this week were things that I had planned on doing Saturday. And my unsuccessful trade and BE trade, I only did about 4 positions. One was a loser, one was a BE. So I'm completely convinced, and I have been for a long time, but I fall. I'm human. I'll do something on an impulse sometimes, but it usually doesn't work. Okay. Just reacting to things unless you're planning to react at levels. So do your work. And this can help you do your work over the weekend. You just, could do what I do. I'll go and take a look at the euro, and see what the whole team is thinking about. All right. This is conventional, basic technical, and then I may want to see what Grega's doing. And Grega was bullish. That's his count too, but he was bullish from this 116 level last week. So, if I want to know what Andre's thinking in the harmonic, I can go right there. Here's some of Andre's harmonic work. So he's got some levels up around 1824 and then 19. So you have all weekend to, look at your stuff and see if anyone else is seeing the same thing using a different method. And I promise you that you'll come in with more conviction on your trade. Okay, so, so you're not right before you click the mouse hearing this in your head. I hope this one works. Okay, you're making the markets challenging. Turn it around, challenge the markets. Say, I've done my work. I know the reasons. The more reasons, the better for what you're doing. You know where you're wrong. You know what your objectives are. And then you click the mouse and say, okay, Mr. Market, prove me wrong. Right? That's the attitude you go into a trade with. I think I'm right. Prove me wrong. Okay? And when they do, you're out. And then you just go to the next one. Don't go fetal if it doesn't work, and don't do cartwheels if it does. It's just another trade. Okay, Blake, how are you, buddy?
Great. You know what? I was trying to find the unmute button. Hey, I want to say great coaching, Coach.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's why.
Where's the link for Pepperstone? Money wants it. Maybe you could show it when you take over the screen.
Where's the what?
The link for people to open Pepperstone accounts.
Yeah, I'll show you. It's on our website.
Yeah, I know. When you grab the screen, maybe you could show it to Money. Because, Blake, I was, telling our attendees, it doesn't really, cost them anything just to transfer an account. They might even save money on the spreads at Pepperstone, and then they get us for free for a while, no out of pocket. So why not do it?
And Pepperstone has great support. That's the I think one of the okay, I'm gonna just give you some personal experience, and this is just this has been over the years, and I've talked to people recently that have had difficult times. I feel bad about using somebody's name. Anyway, I've heard a lot of people struggle with like certain brokerage firms, retail wise, and one of the things that Pepperstone's really good about is, they got account managers, they've got, like dedicated account managers, they've got great support, and, are their spreads the best? I'm not 100% sure since I can't use them, but but from what I understand, like Leandro, who's our new Spanish webinar conductor, he's been using them for years. He loves them. And, and I know other people that have used, that use Pepperstone, that really enjoy what they do. So, yeah, you can go to the Forex sponsored page right here, and it says why Pepperstone. You have to click this link where it says open an account. Okay. So you have to click this link right here. And then it's just telling you, there's another link right here. It tells you all the steps, how you can get Forex analytics for free. So, I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I want to put it in the chat box. I
already put it in the chat box.
Okay, never mind. And thank you very much. Yeah. So, thanks, Dale, for throwing that out there. I've got a lot to cover this morning in about 15 minutes, so I'm going to get through it. We have Canadian jobs data, and then we got to do our giveaway. So, and I want to thank everybody for participating in the Forex Analytics giveaway. It was really, it was for us. It was more of getting our name out there. Whether we saw let me just put it this way. It didn't really move the needle as far as we had, new subscribers. We always have people take advantage of the offer. That's just, what happens whenever we put out an offer like that. But I think a lot of this was getting the name recognition around the Traders Summit event that really helped out. So thank you all for your participation. It was really, I appreciate it. Especially, I know one of our webinars, I asked you guys, hey, could you please, retweet this? And you all did. I mean, not everybody, but I think like 70 or 80 of you.
You sounded like Jay Powell asking for fiscal stimulus.
We can't do this alone. We need some
Yeah.
business. Okay. Anyway, but that was that. So I appreciate that. We've got the Stelios spent 14 hours putting the list together. So we really appreciate Stelios getting that list together. And you know, I'm gonna get to the charts because we're gonna start off with the dollar Canadian because we do have Canadian data. And remember, I got stopped out of this yesterday when we broke 32.40. I should have just turned around and went short. I didn't, but you know, this is the neckline of the big head and shoulder pattern. I tried to play it on the long side yesterday at like 132.20, and then you know it closed the day at 132, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out of it. You know, I told everybody in the chat room, I'm like, I'll try playing it small, and I'm not sticking around because I told everybody yesterday as well in the chat room. And remember, a part of Forex Analytics is being in our chat rooms, which is right here, you know, right next to the your avatar. That chat room, which, you know, I know I show you guys, it's, you know, it's basically right here. Here, it's like right there. And you can see we were just kind of chatting around. I was telling everybody what City Tech was doing. Anyway, that chat room is where I spend the majority of the day. And, you know, I was telling everybody yesterday, I'm like, look, I think we're going to 31.50 because of the 618 retracement, which we ended up doing overnight. I wasn't sure if we were going to make there overnight ahead of the jobs report or just after the jobs report. I was kind of hoping it would be after because what I want to do is I wanted to be long the dollar Canadian right here post jobs report. Canada is very notorious for once a jobs report comes out, whatever you think is happening, like strong Canadian numbers, I'm buying Canada. By the end of the day, the dollar Canadian would end up stronger, or vice versa. You know, you have a weak number, you buy the dollar Canadian, and then by the end of the day, the dollar Canadian unwinds all that. And next thing you know, you have a strong Canadian dollar and you go, what the hell just happened? That is like the Canadian currency is notorious for doing that. So I was hoping we'd have like a strong Canadian number, we'd push down to this support, and then I could be long. That doesn't mean that we can't go down today. But I'm kind of thinking that we might go a little further, and that support's going to be right over here. It's going to be right around the 131.30 level. So I'm going to say dollar Canadian support 131.30, and instead of being bullish, we are at range now because we broke back below that neckline. Any rally back to 132.40 should find resistance. Okay, let's keep on moving. Let's go to the euro. So the euro's back to 118 level. Now, this is 118.10. Big resistance. It's the 50% retracement. It's also the neckline. Okay. It's also the neckline again. You know, whether you draw it like, oh, crap, that's not what I wanted to do. Get rid of that. You know, draw it like this, you draw it like that. You know, look, trend lines are not perfect. People drive, you know, they'll draw through the candles or through the wicks to get to a candle, you know, yada yada yada. There's no perfect way to draw it. I will say that while we're below 118.10, and I think you guys have been saying this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You have to be careful. Now I'm going to put us in range today until I'm confident that the euro's turning lower again, which would be a move below these lows. You know, once you get below this support, then I'll feel more confident that the euro's, you know, moving lower. Right now, we're going to go into range because, I mean, you know, I still think the euro is turning lower, but who knows? You know, I mean, you look at stocks aren't turning lower. So as long as stocks stay strong, then the dollar should stay weak. But then again, you're dealing with the euro, so you know, it's tough. I'll say that while we're above, or while we're, you know, anywhere between 120 and probably like the 117 level, I'm going to be on range. I'm going to just keep us range. So for today, though, support will be the spike low, which will be 117.30. Okay, let's go over to the cable. This is my chart of the day yesterday, just because, man, the pound's holding up well. Amanda was out of the chat room today. Her internet went down. So she's out with her daughter, and she's running around. And Some negative news this morning came out from Spiegel magazine, Der Spiegel, that said, Germany doesn't, has an issue with the fisheries, and the cable sold off really fast and then bounced right back. And Amanda was on, she had typed us in Skype, and I mentioned her name a lot regarding Brexit because she stays so on top of all the news. She's like, the fishery news and the negotiations amongst the fisheries is so common right now, and it's so well known that right now, any slight positive news is going to be very bullish for the cable. And I have to make an assumption, and I know Stelios is in this group, that we're going to get a deal eventually. It's hard to imagine that the UK is going to walk away without some sort of deal. So what it looks like at the end of the day, who knows? There are obviously some big issues at the moment, but for right now, I mean, I think we got to watch the cable at the support, which will be 128.50 roughly. It's 128.40, but I'll write down 128.40. Oh shoot.
Your 15-minute chart looks like an ascending triangle that would measure up if we broke out through 29.70, would give you 30.50.
The what?
Your 15-minute chart on cable looked like an ascending triangle.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like a double top, flat top, and then an ascending.
Yeah, you could do this. We could be developing some sort of triangle here, some sort of, be a wedge or a bullish wedge actually with consistent highs. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can draw it, and I'm not going to, box myself into the right way because, but what it looks like to me is we've got, damn it, I'm running out of time and I cannot.
All right, I'm going to show.
One thing that we should realize is 130 is key here, and if we get above 130, we're going to probably start to squeeze. And like I said in the chart of the day yesterday, this is where you catch the market wrong-footed. You got everybody short. Cable deal's not going to get done. It's breaking down technically. It's below 130. We came out of an ascending wedge. We're short. Above 130, you're going to start to squeeze people, and you're going to get people like, us that are more predatory in nature as far as trading goes. We're going to go, I'm going to get long. And then, maybe some positive Brexit news comes out. Next thing you know, you're trading above 133, I'm just going to say that 130 is key here for now. Okay. And we are in range. The Aussie's back at 72. Remember, we are outside of this channel. We're outside of this pink channel. You can see it here. And we're still holding the 50% retracement. So 72 cents, 71 cents, there's your range. I know you might be thinking, oh, but it's so bullish this morning. Is it? I mean, it's bullish maybe this morning, but I think overall it's still, trying to roll over here. Kiwi, a little inverted head and shoulder pattern. If you're a Forex Analytics subscriber, you already knew about that from yesterday. We are pushing back up towards what looks like it could be the 66.60 level. And, the thing about the Kiwi, I have to acknowledge, is that probably a lot of people got short earlier this week on that negative interest rate chat that they had. Well, we're squeezing now. So the risk is that we rally up to the 66.60. Support is going to be this 65.50. And actually support for today will be right here at 66 cents. So I'm going to write down 65.50, 66 cents, and then 6660. Okay. I'm still going to keep it bearish because I think the Kiwi is not acting well. I mean, think about what risk is doing. You know, stocks are screaming and have been, and the Kiwi is really underperforming. Yes, it's up a little bit today. Yes, it could squeeze a little further. I still think, you know, I'd be a little nervous about it. We talked about the Canadian. We got Canadian data coming up in 5 minutes. Dollar Mexican peso. Remember, this is right here. You know, that's still, we're still above, you know, resistance. And we have some support that comes in here at 21.22. I read a research piece from, I think, Barclays. They're actually quite bearish the dollar Mexican peso right now, and you know they're like, you know, yeah, we clear some of the support and we're going to see 2050 again, and I can't disagree with that. But for right now, we're holding, you know, and if you look at, you know, relative strength is divergent here. This is a 4-hour, you know. If you look at stochastics, we're pretty oversold. I mean, there's a lot of support down at these levels. I'm not saying that we can't go lower. It's just, I sure as hell would be kind of nervous shorting down here. Okay. Resistance though, we'd have to get, you know, above 2150 is resistance today, 2150 and then 2178. Hey, Steve Stelios, give my attention when we get about 2 minutes from this data, please.
Yep.
If you guys are there.
Sure thing, mate.
Thanks.
Good morning.
Dollar Swiss. So the dollar Swiss, let's delete this stuff. I don't need that now. These are drawings from yesterday for us. Remember, the 618 comes in at 91.10. That was a breakout point over here, some resistance there. So I would probably note that. And actually, this is probably more important because we'd have to get above that to turn. So 91.10 is support. Like I tell you guys all the time, I have no idea how to trade the Swissy. No idea. I really don't. Right now, 92 cents is going to be resistance. That's that spike high. We are in a range. Dollar yen. I'm going to talk about the dollar yen really quick because I am long. I actually bought some last night. I was I went over to my neighbor's house, so I wasn't around, but I had an order out to pick up some more dollar yen when it dropped into the 80s here. And so I picked it up and I actually put out, because I bought it and it really wasn't moving when I got home. I actually just put it in an order to, you know, sell it out what I bought here in the 80s at the 90s, and I just got out of it. But I still have dollar yen, and it's holding really important resistance. So remember, this is the big breakout point, this 105.80. The low, it's actually 105.82 if you don't recall. 105.80 is supporting, but we have to get above, in my opinion, this trend line here, and that comes in around 106.20. But the dollar yen is just very quiet. 105.80 is support. 106.20 is resistance. I think it's turned bullish because we're above that 618, and it's holding where it needs to hold.
Yeah, we're around 1 minute to go, Blake.
Okay, thanks. It's just, you know, it's kind of languishing, and again, I'm not really, as I pointed out before, I'm not really too sure what's driving the dollar yen. I think it's yields, but it's not equities. You know, and it doesn't seem like to be the dollar, and maybe it's a little bit of gold, or maybe it's just a sprinkle of everything. So we'll see. Let's pull up the Canadian data. What are we looking for, guys?
Forecast is for 156.6 employment change and unemployment at 9.7.
Here's Bloomberg. They're looking for 150. Data flash 156. And here's the dollar Canadian. And you guys will see that Bloomberg's $2,800 a month. Data flash is, well, if you have Forex Analytics, even the light version, it's $19 a month. right? So, and I have to say, Steve,
What a
did
value.
a great job putting that together. Yeah. So, but Bloomberg did come out quicker. That's a strong number out of Canada. 378,000. That's a good number.
That's a big beat.
Data flash. Why is it moving? It's so slow. Usually it's
Yep.
Usually it's as fast.
yeah. That's weird.
Investing.com is still not out either, so I think it's
Really?
Probably different sources. That in this case seems to be much faster for Bloomberg.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so the Canadian data is good, but look what we just did. We just hit new lows. I don't know if I'd trust it down here, but
Yeah, I mean the number was much better, so it makes sense
it
that the
was.
initial reaction.
But like I said, Canada is pretty notorious for posting good data, and by the end of the day, you're like, "What the hell just happened?" You know, it ends up unwinding. So just be careful here. We're gonna watch it as we. I think I want to see how it reacts down here at 30 at the 30-40 level. So we'll see. Now, let me go ahead and crank through this data really quick so we could do the giveaway. Dollar index. Let's go to the DXY. Here's the DXY. Now, 50% retracement. Look at the new lows. Divergent relative strength. Got to be careful here. 93.25 is support for the dollar index. And like I said yesterday, 94 is resistance. Now, it's the same thing. Matter of fact, probably what we could do. Let's do this. Okay. It still has an inverted head and shoulder pattern. We keep testing the neckline. So, you know, you guys just got to be a little careful here. Dang it. You got to be a little careful here that we just don't, start rallying off of this, this area, because this is the neckline. I'm going to keep us on range until we get above, just like the euro. We need to get back below like 117 and change. The dollar index needs to get back above 94 to really turn bullish again, which would be right over here. But I think you have to be really careful being bearish. US dollar, Norwegian krona, we're back at support. I'm just trying to crank through this for you guys. We were looking at a possible inverted head and shoulder pattern as it was holding the 925 yesterday. I bought it at 926, got out of it at 923. Just, it was just a very manageable risk right there. But this is really all pretty key. I think we wrote all this down yesterday. 918. I think we wrote 918 or 920. So I'm going to write down 918 is support. We really have to get above 940, as I've been writing, to turn everything higher again. And I want to still say it's bullish while we're above this. You can see how well, this is a pretty impulsive move, and you can see how well we're still holding up. I mean, it's holding up it's kind of like the Aussie and the Kiwi. It's holding up. The Canadian, is doing its own thing, but the Norwegian krona is still pretty weak. Let's go S&P. The S&P continues to grind higher. Okay. We were talking if we turned around from the 618 yesterday, but we didn't. Here's the inverted head and shoulder pattern that could take us higher. We had this big conversation yesterday. It's still grinding up. I mean, you could argue that everybody's looking ahead at a Biden win, and what that actually means, and being able to spend if they have control of both the House and Senate, Democrats. So the market's just spending any way it can to be a win. But as of right now, the one thing that I will go back to is I think the markets will appreciate some stability. When I say stability, that would be more of like lack of having to worry about a contested result if it's a big sweep for Democrats, and the market is liking that. The market will not like if Trump if the race is too close and then there's a contested presidency, that the markets will go into turmoil, right? So for right now, the markets are really appreciating the fact. Next resistance is going to be right here at 34.85. Previous support, current resistance there. It's in between the fib levels, but that'll be 34.85. Support. I guess it'd be 3,400, but probably 30 at this point in time. Excuse me. 34.20 was big support. Excuse me, big resistance on the way up. So it's probably going to be big support on the way down. Gold, last thing. Gold ripped last night. Which
Any news? Why?
No, but it's one of the things that fed into the dollar weakness.
Yeah.
But we ended up breaking this trend line here.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm kind of upset about it because I really wanted to see gold back, you know, towards 1,700 to be long more. And the dips have been shallow. I mean, I am a bull. I'm a gold bull. I'm just, you know, obviously not bullish. You know, you have to be overall, I'm bullish gold. I believe in what gold should be doing in the coming, you know, weeks and months ahead. But we're actually in months ahead. I just think that gold near term, I was hoping I'd pull back a little further. It just isn't. We're back at the 618. 1926 should offer good resistance today. Oops, 1926. I mean, dare I flip it back to bullish? I don't know if I should do that. I think it's more of a range right now, but
Equality
well
would take
supported.
it to about 1940.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could make it back towards, you know, probably closer to 2000, maybe like 1970, 1980, I think. But you know, it's not going there today, I don't think. And then support today would be this breakout point, which would be 1895 roughly. So, all right, I'm going to leave it at that. Good morning, Steve, Stelioses.
Good
How you guys
morning.
doing? Morning. So, I'm going to pass it over to Steve because I want to give the traders that are looking to figure out who won this giveaway. I want them to be able to figure this out, or I want them to be able to see how the process that we go through. But I want to thank again everybody for participating in this giveaway. It was huge. We had you know, just everybody retweeting the tweets and responding to them. And during the Traders Summit event, it was wonderful. The engagement that you guys did as a community was huge. And thank you all for participating. I appreciate it. You know, I look at you all as part of the Forex Analytics family. I know some of you are subscribers, some of you aren't. And I know most of you are looking to be at some point. So whether you can or can't right now, you know, we just hope at some point you will be part of what we do. And so with that, you know, we want to be able to give an opportunity to at least 3 of you to be part of the family and get 3 months for free. And then plus I'll send you some gear too. So that's kind of cool. You'll have some Forex Analytics gear sent your way. So without further ado, Steve, Stelios, how do you want to do this?
I think the user.
We're gonna random roll it.
Yes.
Right.
So
whose
Steve,
screen are
take
we
the
going to
screen.
see?
I think Steve is going to take the screen.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, let me reduce the size of this because the other screen is okay. There we go. So we have 69 people, and the first number is 56, which is at Yarop. Okay, mark that. Next one.
All right.
45.
45. What are the chances we get the same number twice?
Hey,
we get the
wait.
same. If we get the same number twice, obviously we roll again, right?
Yes, of
45
course.
is Alexander. You know, we just had a new member in our chat room named Alexander. Maybe that's him. Hey, wait, hold on. Before you generate the last one,
Absolutely. Holding.
let's go Lucky 7. Come on, Lucky 7.
What?
48.
Come on. All right. Fine. All right. Who's that?
48 is Ankit Gupta. Okay.
And
Well, we're
I
gonna-
believe
yeah.
Ankit is a Forex Analytics subscriber as
Okay.
well. Should we
Well-
do one more just for? I mean, I know we said 3.
Up to you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you do the mailing, so
I know, and it's such a pain. So just so you guys know, let me explain to you why this is so hard. The last giveaway we gave away 10 and it was like 10 free months or something like that, and one person got like 3 months, something like that. And I swear, everybody outside of the United States, especially in we had a couple in India, we had a couple in the Philippines, a couple in Indonesia. We had everybody else outside of the United States won, and I spent 2 hours filling out paperwork at the post office. Pandemic. So I've been, they're like, let's do another giveaway. Let's give away 10. I'm like, no.
Can you see Blake at the post office?
I really wanted to strangle somebody. It's horrible. It's not like not like I have a secretary that like, hey, can you please go do this? No, I gotta go do it. So
So what's it gonna be, Mr. Post Office?
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty generous. It's
I'll
Friday.
do it.
How about you guys? What do you think?
Yeah,
Let's
do
do one
Sure,
more.
you're
Let's do
sending
one
them.
more.
do 10 more.
I'd
Do 10
rather
more.
have one more person in our community than not. So let's go
All
ahead. Let's give away 3 more months. Let's do it.
And bring up 7 for Blake.
Okay.
Okay, one
Guesses.
Fix it. Fix it.
Whoever is closer.
11.
Okay.
3 drives.
I see 15. Blake.
I said 7.
No.
Oh my God. What's
What is
with the
up with
40
that?
numbers?
All right.
Kate.
Hey.
All right.
And I wonder if that's Catherine from our community. So, hey, you know what? I'm happy for all the winners. I've got to roll out. I got to get to the markets, but I want to say congratulations to all the winners. I know Stelios and Stelios. Maybe are you getting in touch with people?
We will be contacting them via our Forex Analytics Twitter. So.
Oh, okay. There you go. Oh, okay. Then, so congratulations to all the winners, and I'm going to pass it over to you guys. So have a great day. Thanks, everybody.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
weekend,
Blake.
Blake.
All right.
Thank you, Blake. So Friday.
Hey, Dale.
I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
want a red Target shirt.
Steve, were you calling my name?
What?
Sorry,
No.
mate.
Oh,
No,
I
we said
thought you
thank
were
you.
calling my name. I'm sorry. All right. You
All
guys
right.
have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.
So Friday, it's been a long week. Pretty quiet today overnight, with the exception of metals. Really, not much else is happening apart from the usual slow grind higher in equities. Blake did mention very briefly that Germany, there was an article on Spiegel that Germany are taking a hard stance on EU fishing rights over the UK. We know that this is the main sticking point, and many people have pointed out that, look, it's only 0.1% of UK GDP or something like that. This is partly because they've given away a big chunk of it, but I think it's a lot to do with the principle, not just an economic factor. And remember, it was we had a Norwegian friend in the chat room who said, "Look, Norway tried a couple of times to join, and the fisheries was one of the main, if not the main, stumbling point, and they didn't." So. This is what we had today. We also had another comment from the UK PM spokesman for Boris Johnson, who said that progress is being made this week in some areas. A nice vague comment as always, but
A beautiful statement from a politician that, as always, has no substance.
yes, it can be read. Yeah. Anyway. So that's on the Brexit front, and we can safely assume that we're going to get a lot more coming through in the next weeks, days, and
Lucky
weeks.
us.
Yes. On the US side, Donald Trump, after saying, look, we're breaking negotiations on the stimulus bill, now came back and he said that they need a comprehensive stimulus package. Mnuchin told that to Nancy Pelosi in particular. And I think on that side, they want to do something as well. They want to get something done. And frankly, 1.6 trillion versus 2.2 trillion, meet in the middle, what's 300 billion? Whatever, they're going to get it done. Anyway, that's what I would do. Otherwise, it's been pretty quiet. We had some data today. We had the data out of the UK, all red. So we had manufacturing production, trade balance, industrial production, GDP, all a little bit worse than expected. With the uncertainty and COVID and Brexit, it's, kind of to be expected, but it's definitely not improving. The UK is actually bouncing less than other countries after the COVID crash. But we wait to see what happens with that. Finally, we had Norway inflation. It was expected to go up to 2%. It actually printed 1.6% year on year, but still, it's not it's not a terrible number. It's close to their target. The Norges Bank are watching this. They did say last time that this is going to be a transient effect and it should edge lower. Well, it did on this print. Let's see how it goes moving forward. And we got the Canadian data, which can be very volatile. We saw that. Otherwise, I'm waiting for the weekend to come. So there you go.
Who isn't?
Yes. And that's it. So we have about 10 minutes to have a look at a few charts.
Dale, do we have an interview today?
No.
Okay, so we have more than 10 minutes to have a look at a few charts. Guess what? The dollar is breaking down.
Yeah.
We were talking about this. In my opinion, corrective rebound. I said it multiple times. Looking at the USD MXN, I don't see anything different. Looking at the USD CAD, I don't see anything different. The only different thing here is that momentum is even stronger. So bottom line, I'm still looking for fresh lows sooner rather than later. Here is the USD NOK. So bottom line, nothing has changed. If you remember, I was very reluctant. And of course, more or less, we have the opposite picture here in the S&P, but in all actuality, all indices, we warned in advance. Pullback, had 100% corrective characteristics. We broke through it, and we even invalidated that reversal day that we had when Trump decided to play hard, having to do with negotiating a deal. Bottom line, I think nothing has changed, and my thesis remains exactly the same. Ahead of the elections, I don't want to be short risk, and I don't want to be long the dollar. As simple as that. I think the markets and market participants have more or less settled to the idea that whatever issues we have, whatever issues there are, a lot of them, we'll have to deal with them and decide, how they're going to affect the economy and the markets post-elections once we have more data. For the time being, the market is fixated, as any good drug addict, to the stimulus, which is in essence the drugs. And as long as they're not taking the punch bowl away, it's running higher on hope. So this is the main theme here, and hasn't really changed. So obviously, gold has been appreciating, silver has been appreciating. I have to admit, I still don't see in this rebound in gold and silver so far an indication that that's like a full reversal. I'm not saying that it's unlikely, and as I've said, I don't want to be short gold or silver. There's no question about it. So there's no chance that I would be caught short in this trade in any case. But I was hoping, and I still believe there is a chance, based on how the rebound looks so far, that we might see one last push to the downside. That would be my ideal technical scenario here. Doesn't necessarily have to happen, and as I said, it's a dangerous proposition being short gold and silver. That's why I didn't even consider being short. What I do want to see though is I do want to see one more low, because I want to buy lower, as simple as that. So I want to get the opportunity to buy at better prices, especially silver, because gold I do own, but I don't silver. I mean, I do have a quantity, but all that old stuff that's go from generation to generation. I don't know, something like 10 kilogram or whatever, but definitely not something to write home about. So having to do with crude oil did close yesterday above this symmetrical triangle, so that's another indication that points in the direction of risk on. And having to do with natural gas, guess what? We started warning since the beginning of the week, and natural gas seems to be breaking out from this flag today. And I do think that this is a legitimate breakout. The next area of resistance is 2.9, but I do believe that this time there is a very, very high probability that we're not stopping at 2.9, that we're breaking through 2.9 and headed to new highs. Platinum, by the way, platinum is a metal that makes me a little bit more skeptical about the possibility of gold producing one more low, because as you see, the pullback in platinum has way more clearly corrective characteristics, and it can easily be done, right? You can see that we've been, since we found a high at the beginning of August at this 1000 area, we've been in essence depreciating in a very orderly fashion, holding within this channel. So I do believe that a break above 950 in platinum is going to be a very bullish development, and is going to be breaking through the recent high at 1040. And I do think that platinum has a long way to move following that. It's a metal that had been battered for years and years, and I do think that it, fundamentally speaking, it's going to end up going a lot higher than where it is. And here is also platinum. Platinum has broken through this symmetrical triangle you can see here in green.
Palladium.
Sorry, palladium. Yeah, what did I say? Yeah.
Platinum,
And yeah, I said platinum again. And if it breaks through 2,500 once again, I think it's probably going to accelerate to the upside. So keep that in mind. I see both platinum and palladium, as very likely candidates to explode higher in, the not so distant future. So I'm paying attention to both of them. Now, let me go through some of your questions. Long USD CAD at 131.50. Be my guest, and I wish you the best of luck. But I want to know what exactly inspires you in this chart to be long. I'm not saying that it can't work. Anything can work, right? I mean, you can take random positions, and you might end up making money. But I'm looking at this chart, and I think that we're going below 130. As simple as that. The rebound was, perfectly channeled. We're breaking lower. The last 3 days have been, rather strong and the sellers seem to be in complete control. So keep in mind also that this rebound stalled at the 23.6% fib. I mean, we're talking about a very, very weak rebound. We didn't even manage to make it to the 38.2. So, best of luck, but
Can't we dig in our heels, put in a higher low, and then go again?
Yeah, of course we can.
Yeah.
But again, looking at this chart,
Yeah,
I
know.
think that the chances are that the corrective rebound is over,
Right.
and the breakdown from this channel is a strong indication that we're headed to new lows.
Okay.
No. I've seen the horizontal support resistance area, but seeing this chart, it's not enough for me to want to buy it, DJ. That's what I'm saying. Now, of course, I don't know what you mean exactly. I mean, if your time horizon is to capture like a few pips of a rebound, yeah, that actually might be a good trade. But I'm always looking at things from my perspective, and I'm not a day trader, as you know. I'm not a scalper for sure. I'm a swing trader, right? So
you're a swinger.
So no chance that I would buy it with 130, 150, hoping to make like 20 pips. That's not my style. Dale,
Steve waits for a lot of confirmation, DJ, to do these trades, and that's what helps his hit rate, being patient. So
yeah, I take less trades though. Obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot less.
What were you going to ask me, if there were any other?
Yes, because I came in late today. So can you check,
there
please?
There were a few, sure.
Yeah, and give me some questions.
Okay. Aussie yen.
Aussie yen, sure. Let's have a look at it.
Okay.
So the Aussie yen has held very nicely to this ascending channel trend line support. I think we talked about it like last week or the beginning of this week. I don't remember exactly. So as long as that's the case, there is no real bearish argument. On the other hand, you clearly see that momentum to the upside has been lacking, right? And we're currently literally in the middle of this channel. I mean, exactly in the middle. So I wouldn't be doing something with Aussie yen here. You either keep on trading the channel itself, so you sell it every time we get close to trend line resistance, you buy it every time we get close to the trend line support, or you wait for a breakout, in which case you just buy or sell the breakout and ride it through. In any case, there's no risk reward at the moment, being exactly in the middle. Yes, this is an area of resistance, by the way, but I wouldn't be really trading it. And since we're at it, Kiwi yen, pay attention to the Kiwi yen. Similar but not the same as the Aussie yen. You can see that it's also more or less consolidating, but in this case we don't have a channel, we have like a triangle, but the end result is one and the same, which means no trend at the moment. So you either trade this contracting range, or you wait for a breakout and you sell it or buy it, depends on which side we break out. Reinforcing resistance, which is worth mentioning, is this long-term trend line resistance. So in my opinion, a breakout from like 71, 80, 72, whatever it is, it's going to be quite a big bullish development. So buying a bullish breakout, I think, has a very, very good chance of working out. So that's a point to take. Above 72, I think that there is a very high probability scenario that the Kiwi yen is going to accelerate to the upside. So if you like trading breakouts, or anyhow, if it's one of the things that you like, the new regulations, laws ruined the UK fishing industry, and economically, seaside communities were not able to recover and still are economically ruined. Hastings, Blythe, East Yorks, Ports, etc. Many there haven't forgotten, and this affects politics in UK. Mark Yusko Energy Fund charts. Some of the tickers are AGI, FNV, AEM, and NEM. Okay.
NEM is Newmont.
Yeah, it's Newman Corporation, which has nothing to do with.
Energy, that's a gold stock.
That's a gold stock, and you can see, right,
Yeah.
the momentum of the move higher, and you can also see that the pullback
Yellow.
clearly has corrective characteristics.
No.
So I think Newmont looks good. Now, it's not necessarily over. I mean, the corrective move is not necessarily over, but as long as we're staying in this channel, I think this is clearly a correction, and we're going to end up.
What else do you see?
Another move to the upside.
Yeah. And what would happen there?
Listen, a break above this 72.15 is going to be like a major breakout. And if you want to take it one step further, Dale, let's see what you think about this.
Oh, yeah.
What about something like that?
Measures 150 about, or
Yeah.
130.
Right?
I'd buy it at 50. Really, in that range. Yeah. If you get an opportunity, say, for example, S&P's peak. I know you're not looking for it until after the election, maybe, but we don't make new highs and we get a C wave down to 3,000. I think, most things will decline with it, and that would be a prime candidate for a buy if it was affected by any correction in the S&Ps for me.
Yes, I can't disagree with that. Now, AGI, gold also, Alamos Gold. Okay.
Wow.
Clearly, not as good looking as Newmont, right?
What a fortune was made in that this year, though. From COVID, $2 to 11.50, not bad. I don't think anything outperformed the gold stocks from the COVID washout. Nothing.
That washout was literally the definition of throwing the baby along with the bathwater, right?
Yeah, Kirk Spano bought it that day. I remember I was interviewing him, and he said, "Well, I like the gold mining sector." I said, "Well, look at what it's doing here." He was here during. I said, "Why don't you buy it?" And he said, "Okay, I just did," and he bought the bottom.
And
I don't know why I was telling him what to do instead of clicking my own mouse. But
that was an amazing trade. There's no question about that. Was an amazing trade.
Yeah.
And here is Franco-Nevada Corporation.
So whoever thinks these are energy trades, these are Mark's probably gold portfolio that he has.
Yep.
Not
and energy. Look at this.
Yeah.
This looks very, very bullish. Even the pullback looks, like a big pennant at the moment.
I'd say they at least all have one more high because I see two drives on all of these.
I agree with you.
Maybe after the election, things get weird. I don't know, contested.
Yeah, let's see what we're going to get with that, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, let's see if we're going to get a rotation, because so far the FANG trade...
it's still a right shoulder, man. Buy puts next week in all of these, I think.
Yeah, something, don't jump the gun necessarily here, because for every head and shoulders formation out there, there is a bullish triangle. So let me show you what I mean. Everybody is trying to envision the head and shoulders formation here, right? Here's the neckline, for example.
Only we are.
Correct. But what about
something
like this?
That would be a descending triangle, which also has bearish implications. In Edwards and
Uh,
McGee.
that would also be considered dependent given
Okay.
this move, right?
All right. Well, the flat bottom and the descending line.
So
in
bottom
my trade.
line, as long as we trade above like 1000, 1015 here, keep in mind, there is a very likely bullish interpretation. But for the time being, I have to agree that this rebound so far looks corrective, right? So that's something we can agree on. So in the short term, doesn't look that the FANG stocks are really ready to to be the steam engine once again that pushes forward. Although keep in mind that there is a good chance if we get any really positive news about a vaccine, there is a good chance that we can see the market pushing to new highs without the FANG stocks doing the same, because keep in mind that the market knows that the FANG stocks are really overpriced, and it's going to be more than willing to rotate out of those and into some of the industries that have been really trashed because of COVID. So, whenever we get some really positive news about a vaccine, not just theoretically, like something more practical, some kind of a date, some kind of a confirmation that, a vaccine is really potent, it has a high efficacy or whatever, the market is going to be very eager in dumping some of these overpriced stocks and buying a lot of the stocks that are extremely undervalued at the moment, because the market is pricing in that perhaps for years and years to come, these industries aren't coming back. Just to give you an example, Boeing just the other day, I think it was this week, was saying that their expectations are that their sales are going to be affected from COVID for the next decade. So that's an example how the market, for some industries, prices in a lot of negativity. And, positive news can help the market unprice some of it. And even if it unprices some of it, I mean, think about industries that the market expects that they might be destroyed like for 5 years, 10 years. Now, imagine if you cut that in half, if you cut the expectations in half that, the industry might come back in half that time, that immediately results in a huge rebound, right? It's not going to take them to all-time highs, but it can take them a long way to repricing what they had already been pricing in. And that's one rotation that inevitably, sooner rather than later, we're going to see. I mean, even if we assume the worst case scenario that every attempt of a vaccine fails and there is never a vaccine, still, at some point, globally, we're going to have herd immunity, and at some point in the not so distant future. So even when that happens, the COVID issue is going to be reduced substantially and its effect to the economy. And at some point, these industries will have to make a comeback. Now, of course, there is something else to consider. There are companies in these industries that will not survive it. So, this is where you need to do your due diligence. And if you're like a stock buyer and, you're a type of person that buys and holds, and you want to buy, companies in these industries to look for a huge rebound to take advantage of, just make sure that you make the right selection, and not just buying the most oversold company, because some of the most oversold companies in these industries will never make it out of this crisis. They will just go bankrupt. So that's it. Dale,
Yeah, buddy.
anything else?
Just waiting for you to do the tagline.
To shut up.
Do the
Okay.
tagline.
Okay, so don't just count your pips, count your blessings, and everybody have a lovely weekend.
Have a great weekend, partner. See you, everyone. Enjoy, do your work, prepare for next week, this weekend. And we'll see everyone next week. Thank you, buddy. Nice job this week.
Thank you, Dale. Bye-bye.
See ya.